What's up, y'all? It's Vic, back once again, feeling good. Had a little hiatus. For those of you who've been following me on Twitter or on Facebook or anything, you know that I've been away for just a little bit. Had a little excursion to San Diego, technically Oceanside, Southern California, really. Road trip, what can I say? Loaded up the Armada, me and Dub, grabbed the boys. Took the long drives, about seven hours, I guess. It's a beautiful thing, man. As always, get at me, Vic at BigVicPresents.com. I'm feeling good. I'm back in the Bay, but definitely enjoyed the vacay. It was oceanfront resort vacation, you know, looking nice on the beach. Just playing a little ball, building sand castles. Let the little fellas hang out at Legoland for a little bit, because that's what they've been wanting to do. So it was real nice, and glad to be back, but certainly enjoyed the vacation, man. Had some good food at a couple of real nice restaurants out there. Capozzoli's, an Italian spot, and then Azafrana's Cuban restaurant. Man, just chopping it up. Probably came back with a few extra pounds, so as usual, you see me at 24 Hour working that off. But other than that, what's on my mind basically is I'm back and the NBA playoffs are in full swing. You guys know I'm a big sports head, so glad to see that we've gotten past the regular season and all the drama that leads up to this, with sitting cats out who've been injured. You got Kobe, who clearly, even after game one of the playoffs against the Oklahoma City Thunder, clearly is not 100%, and hopefully that cat can get it together for a good playoff run. But I'll tell you something interesting about these playoffs, man. If you're looking for a front runner team to just run away with it, man, I don't think it's gonna happen. We got some relatively good matchups for the most part on both sides of the conference. On the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, you've got some pretty decent matchups for the most part. And obviously your front-running team most of the year was Cleveland, but if you think they're just going to run away from Chicago, run away with that playoff series, I don't think it's going to happen. I think Chicago is going to give them all that they can handle, and I think that's going to apply in a lot of these matchups, man. Look at Oklahoma, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Lakers. I think LA has a tendency, at least the fans have a tendency to feel like, we should just drop the hammer on this team, and maybe on paper they should, but the Lakers are kind of, I'm not gonna say limped into the playoffs. Maybe by Lakers standards, they limped into the playoffs. But by any other standards, they look like a great team, one of the premier teams in the league. But they don't look like the type of team that they just haven't been gelling lately. They don't look like the type of team that's just gonna take it to Oklahoma City and not have a care in the world. 4-game sweep and on to the next series. I don't know if it's gonna go down like that, particularly with Kobe looking like he's not all the way healthy. So, if you're looking for something like that, I'm sure a lot of people might even be thinking Orlando's just going to run away from Charlotte. Again, I don't think that's going to happen. Good teams just going at it, getting after it. I know, if there's anybody that might run away with it, it might be the Atlanta series against the Bucks. The Bucks just look like they kind of don't belong, and if they continue to look that way, maybe Phoenix and the Suns, Phoenix and Portland too, because Portland kind of they're battling the injury bug, so they're not 100%. And Phoenix is coming into the playoffs looking pretty hot, so they might have a chance to run away with something for that first round of the playoffs. Now, speaking of coming into it hot, you had the Mavericks who were tearing things off, and towards the end of the season, they were looking good. They've got a good matchup. I think some of your middle-seeded teams, those matchups are going to be a little better than usual. I think from the standpoint of, you got Dallas going against San Antonio, always a good series. Nuggets and Jazz, I think it's going to be a really good series. I don't know if the Nuggets, if they're going to be able to regroup with the absence of George Karl. Of course, best wishes out to him battling cancer. And then you got Carmelo Anthony on that note. You know, I know he's been doing his thing, and you know, I actually liked Carmelo and when he came into the league when he was coming from college, man. But a few years ago, man, he did that. I'm sure those of you who follow the NBA remember he did that Bush move when he sucker punched. I think it was the cat from the Knicks. I think it's Marty Collins or somebody. Man, I will never forget that. I know I need to get past it. I know Carmelo has game. I know Melo, he seems like a decent enough cat, and hopefully he learn. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just being from the town. I just can't let it go. A sucker punch like that, a Bush League move like that, man, I just can't. I don't know if I'll ever get past it. So, sorry, Melo. You're off the list, man. And I know all the Melo fans are going to be all on me. Vic, how can you say that, Vic? Whatever, man. You know, that's how I feel about it. You just can't come Bush like that, and just can't ever live something like that down. I mean, do you guys remember? Blow! And then ran. And then ran. He came up behind everybody, just snuck up with it, and then just backpedaled. Like, can't let it go. Sorry. Anyway, I don't know how I got off on that. Melo fans gonna be all on me now. Anyway, if you don't like it, get at me. Vic at BigVicPresents.com. That's Vic with a K. Or respond to the video however you want to do it. And but you know, obviously, I think the main thing is that we all know that everyone's been looking at how this is gonna end up. You know, I think in your Eastern Conference, we're probably looking at Cleveland and Orlando again, or in a big battle. I don't know, again, because of Carmelo and his little issues, man. I don't know if it's going to be the Lakers and Denver again like last year. I'm thinking it could wind up being the Lakers and maybe the Mavericks, possibly for the Western Conference championship. But in any event, those are going to be some all-out battles. You know, Orlando and Cleveland, just bad blood. You know, the whole LeBron walking out without congratulating anybody and all that, because he thought last year was going to be his year. And of course, if everything plays out the way I think most people probably want to see it, unless you're living in Orlando, unless you're living in Florida, you know, unless you're living in Dallas, I think the typical NBA fan is probably hoping to see the Kobe, LeBron, and Shaq matchup to you know, for the ages in the championship. I think that's what everybody's looking for, and you know, we'll see if it can happen. It might be bittersweet though if Kobe's not 100%, but if he is, boy, those teams are gonna get after it, and it's gonna be one. I think David Stern probably be peeing his pants. So it's gonna be such a huge series. But first things first, we got a lot of rounds to get to. That's how I'm feeling it's gonna play out. You let me know what you think, Vic at BigVicPresents.com, and don't come at me with any of that Melo, like I'm hating on Melo and all that stuff. You know what? That was so bad what Carmelo did. I'm gonna have to give him the epic fail. That's right, Melo. Sorry for you, partner. But that's it. Till next time, again, get at me, Vic at BigVicPresents.com. That's Vic with a K.